So my name is Sarah, and I'm hiking the AT in 2019, and I hope you'll come along for the journey. This morning I'm out on a training hike in New Hampshire on a mountain called Blueberry Mountain, which is one of the mountains on the 52 with a view hiking list. New Hampshire has several hiking lists. The 48 4,000 footers, the 52 with the view, that are all just like, checklists to encourage you to get out and enjoy the outdoors. And finished the 48 4,000 footers a few years ago, and working on the 52 with the view as part of my motivation for training for the Appalachian Trail. Sometimes it just feels like it's so far away that I need shorter term accomplishments to check off the list to get me there and to get me fit. Oh, I just noticed that I just had a view open up. Oh, let me turn the camera around. So I believe that is Mount Cube across the way, which is on the Appalachian Trail. And if there was a view today, looking straight out, you would see Mount Moosilauke, but it's completely socked in, unfortunately. So I'm at 36 on my 52, 16 more to go. And they're all sub 4,000 foot mountains that all have views at the top of them. And just because they're sub 4,000 foot does not mean that they are easy mountains. In fact, some of these hikes that I have done, not today, this is a pretty easy one, but some of them have been a lot more difficult than the 4,000 footers. But every one seems to be rewarding in its own way, and, is an accomplishment in its own right. A little bit more about me. I am a 50-year-old mom of 2 adult daughters and wife to my husband, Rob, who I've been married to for 25 years. Our youngest child is graduating from college from Oberlin this coming year, and it just seems like a really good time for me to go out and accomplish something, since I have been an at-home mom for 25 years. So last summer, I hiked the Long Trail in Vermont as a thru hike, as a challenge for myself, but also I think as a person who's an incrementalist. I wanted to see if I actually liked long distance backpacking again, and if I liked doing it on my own. So I hiked the Long Trail and was successful and did enjoy it, but I really enjoyed the Appalachian Trail section of it. And it was everything I could do north of Killington when the trails split at Main Junction to not just follow the Appalachian Trail, but to stay on course and go north on the Long Trail, which I did, but I did not enjoy the northern part of the Long Trail as much, not only because of the terrain and the mud, but because it lacked the same camaraderie that the southern part of the trail had. Well, one of the things that happened on the Long Trail was that I got my trail name, which was Cushy Life. I arrived at a shelter, fiction, nonfiction, Chica and Sunsets were there. We were all waiting out a big storm. And fiction wanted to know how it was that I seemed to be fully loaded when there hadn't been a resupply spot for a day or two. And I explained to her that I had been hopscotching my car along. And then Chica and Sunsets jumped in and told her how my husband was meeting me every Saturday, and I would take zeros and we would go to a hotel and out to a brewery and enjoy a nice dinner. And she said, well, that must really be a cushy life. And there came my trail name of Cushy Life. Started backpacking and hiking when I was in college. I did a semester-long outward bound course midway through, and we spent about a month in Maine in Baxter State Park and then Casco Bay, and hiking, canoeing, rock climbing, you name it, sailing. We spent about a month in the Chesapeake Bay and then a month down in the Florida Keys, and came at a good time for me. I was needing to take a break and evaluate why I was in college and if college was worth it to me, and learned that it was worth my time and I needed to finish my degree. And in coming to that conclusion, while I was on the course, it was really timely because as soon as I finished the course, Outward Bound offered me a job with them and as an instructor, or at least working for them. And I said, no, I really want to finish my college degree first. But if you'll have me when I graduate in a year and a half, I'd love to come back. Well, when I got back to the University of New Hampshire, lo and behold, I met Rob, and we've been together 30 years now. So that's part of the reason why I'm interested in this, is I feel like I have, this part of me that was not fulfilled in my earlier life, to have a big learning and challenging experience to grow from. And I think it's a celebration of changing phases of life, from being an at-home mom into whatever the future has to hold, and I'm not quite sure what that is at this point. I know it's, at home in New Hampshire with my husband until he retires from work, which won't be for another 10 or 15 years. But beyond that, I don't really know what it looks like, and so I think it's a good time to sit back and take some time to evaluate that. And it's also an opportunity to celebrate, honestly, the fact that I've made it to 50 years and still in a situation where I can do this type of activity. Both of my parents have died, and 2 of my 4 siblings have died. And those experiences have really brought home for me that it's not guaranteed that we can do this sort of thing, not only physically, health-wise, but each day brings a new set of challenges and circumstances, and none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. We're just fortunate to have it. So in the lead up to me departing from the trail, I'm planning to leave at the end of February. Some of my girlfriends are planning to drive me down to Georgia, and we're going to spend some time down there. One of my friends has a family property that we're going to stay at, and they will bring me to Amicalola, where my cousin Sandy is flying in from Colorado, and she is going to hike the state of Georgia with me. So that's been fun working with her on planning that. And then from there, I will head north. My next big date that I have in mind is Memorial Day weekend in May. I will be coming off the trail for probably at least 5 days for our daughter's graduation. And in my head, I'm hoping to be done with Virginia by that point. I would love to reach Culpeper or Front Royal and rent a car and drive out to Cleveland. So those are kind of my benchmarks. I don't really have a deadline when I have to be home by. Of course, Katahdin closes on October 15th, so that's a real constraint. So anyways, that's a little bit about me, who I am, and what I'm planning to do. And I'd be happy to have you along for the ride with me. I will probably do some more videos while I'm doing my training over the next 5 months. It's almost exactly 5 months to the day to when I start the trail. So that's really exciting. But it feels like forever away. So come join me, and I'm looking forward to showing you my experience on the Appalachian Trail. Take care.